Yo, what's the crack, boys? Gonna stir up the pot. Got my own little top 10 list here before, ESPN, released a clickbait one. Obviously, NBA 2K ratings came out. They've got their little top 10. The ratings, it's more ratings than order. I agree with them. Jokic is 98. I agree. I don't agree with, most of the other players being 96. They should be 97, but let's get into my list. Now, remember, this is my opinion. If you're getting pressed over a guy with 37 subs, his top 10 list, go outside, bro. Come on. Go touch some grass, bro. Literally leave your house. Anyway, onto the list. Now, I've got some honorable mentions first. Two of these players, it should be 10A, B, and C. With these two players I've got in the honorable mentions. The NBA is just so talented now. And I don't know if I even agree with this pick, but fuck it, I'm just going to go with it. So the first two honorable mentions that probably should be top 10 players, but is what it is. Damian Lillard and AD. Obviously, Dame's had the best season of his career last season. Scored 70, career high in so much stuff. Obviously, he's probably going to be a Miami Heat player. That team's going to be crazy. Dame's just literally one of the best three-point shooters ever. AD, one of his best seasons of his career. Point-wise, was so much better. It was like 26 or 27. The defense in the playoffs was absolutely generational. And he was not injured, proper injured this season. So much better. AD is a top 10 talent. Obviously in the bubble, people rank him second. Okay. I like saying honorable mention to Kawhi as well. It's weird to rank Kawhi. He's just not exactly healthy, but when he's healthy, he's one of the best. Also want to say to Ja and Shea, sensational players. You already know. I don't really need to explain those. And then last, probably not top 10, but 15 to 11, Jamal Murray. That guy is just a hooper, bro. That's a top 4 point guard in the league, probably. Obviously, you need to go for proper rankings. Enough with the dilly-dally. Let's get into the list. Dilly-dally? What the fuck? In the 10th spot, we got Jimmy Butler. Ever since he joined the Miami Heat, it's probably his prime. 3 Eastern Conference Finals appearances, 2 Finals appearances. Leading the team field, nobody's Bam Adebayo to the finals twice. Also went on that generational run before he hurt his foot. Obviously, the play death, he went a lot down. That was because of foot. He underplayed it. It's nothing. But obviously, it was something. Did not play great in the finals. You could say because of the foot, or just because the Denver Nuggets were just that good. Denver Nuggets, that was one of the best teams I've seen this decade. Past 10 years, definitely. Jimmy Butler, obviously, great free throw merchant. I don't know why I just said that. It's kind of corny. Guy likes to, draw fouls. He is a hooper. Doesn't shoot the free ball well unless, it's clutch time. He's called Jimmy Buckets for a reason. Great mid-range game. So physical. Got that dog in him, undoubtedly. Jimmy Butler's my number 10 player. At my number 9 spot, I've got Devin Booker. I've seen some lists, people don't even have him as top 10, that's ridiculous. Devin Booker was on one, until they got knocked out, was on one of the best, scoring offensive playoff performances in a while. High 30s. Great efficiency, had those crazy games in the first and second round. Devin Booker as a free level scorer is honestly one of the best. He's the best shooting guard in the whole league, 100%. Wouldn't say a modern day Kobe. His defense is 100% picked up. Devin Booker should get a lot of flack for his defense now. He's he's a good defender now. One of the best, no. Defense is 100% gone up there. Next year on the Suns, they got Bradley Beal. They got KD as well. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal is playing the point. I would have played Devin Booker at the point. He is a good, combo guard, you could say. He is he can play point guard. I would rather have him there. His playmaking is very good. Obviously, good feeling for Chris Paul. Obviously, his game's just so smooth as well. One of the most silky players. Literally, he just scores some of the craziest shots you've ever seen in the modern day. Devin Booker's my number 9. Maybe a bit low, but I think next season he'll definitely be in that top 7. Now, this is where the list might get a bit, the NBA is just so talented. It's hard to just compact players into 10 spots and order them. It is tough. It's better for tiers, 100% better for tiers, but this is where we are. Number 7, I've got KD. Obviously, yes, this guy, without the Warriors, he's on no rings, which, I don't know. That narrative is kind of crazy, but, KD is just so talented. We saw in the Nets, his first playoff run with them, 49-point triple-double, 50-point games, carrying them, literally one of the most efficient players of all time, arguably the best scorer of all time. one of the most unguardable players of all time. He's definitely, he's up there in age. He's still as good as he is. Obviously, the Achilles injuries and the injuries he does face have 100% impacted his game. And, like, you can notice it. You can notice in the game, the way he posts up, the way he just moves about. You can tell, he isn't the same player. But obviously, he's like 36. Obviously, you're not going to be the same player unless your name's Stephen Curry or LeBron. KD, though, still one of the best scorers in the league. A good defense. Like, I want to say great. He's a very good defender. I don't know if I'll say great, especially, come playoff time. He is a great two-way player. Obviously, he's a good leader as well, despite, he has a more over Steph and that. Like, yeah, it's true. Every time he goes to, post-Steph, it's been a complete disaster, especially last year. But, mid-trade, you kind of get a pass for, failing in the playoffs because, it's a new team and that. But KD is still undoubtedly one of the best players in the league. Might even have a comeback year. He averaged 30. He averaged 30. And if it wasn't for his injuries post-Achilles, he'd probably have an MVP right now. But I just like some of these guys over him. The next spot is, debatable between those two, but I'll get into that. Right, okay, I've just noticed, I'll probably fix it, but I said 7 instead of 8. This is the 7th player I have. It's LeBron. Down near 4, well, he's like nearly 39. He's 39, or he's about to turn 39. I don't exactly remember. LeBron is his age, and he's still as good as he was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. As dominant, no. That foot injury definitely hurt the Lakers this season. They still made the Western Conference Finals, and LeBron had a 40-point triple-double in the elimination game. Obviously, yeah, they got swept. Denver's just that good. Lakers just weren't good enough. But LeBron, somehow a top 10 player. Some people have him outside top 10. You're lying to yourself, bro. Nah, bro. Like, come on, bro. You're lying to yourself there. LeBron top 10, just as dominant as he was, in 2018. Maybe not. I take that back. There's no injuries to that. Like I said, the injuries you can tell, like with KD, you can tell like they've been injured. They're not the same, but they're still so good. LeBron should retire on top. 41 or whatever, play a season with Brody, then retire on top. He's going to be top 15 level for the next, until he retires, I believe. He still has the athleticism to dunk the ball, crazy leap, getting these swat blocks faster than the teenagers in the league. Come on, bro. Like, we'll probably never see a guy like LeBron, specifically like LeBron. Obviously, his three-point shooting is definitely taking a downhill. His playmaking is still there. Post-up wise, it's okay. Like I said, he is 38, 39, 40, whatever. His game is definitely going to take a bit of a dip, but he's still one of the best players in the league. His stats say it. The longevity says it. LeBron James, 7th best player in the world. Now, last spot for the top 5, I've got Jason Tatum. Oh, this is where, like from now to the number 1, like, all these guys could be, not number 1, 2 or 3. I'd say 3. These guys from now on could all be placed in 3. Obviously, you'll have 2 and 1, but whatever. Jason Tatum, 30-point per game season last year. No other Celtic has done that. He is just the definition of a two-way monster. Playmaking, scoring. Jason Tatum, probably for one season, like at least one season, will be the best player in the league. 24, 25, had a 50 bomb against the Sixers. That's tough. He's been to so many conference finals. Was in the finals last year, did underperform. This season, it was not on him. Obviously, still had some bad moments. Jason Tatum's just scoring ability and the way he's improved these whole years. People were saying Tobias Harris was better than Jason Tatum at one point. Obviously, he was in his second year. But I think Tatum's definitely underrated as a defender. If you watch the tape, such a good defender. His build is perfect for it. Muscly guy. Got good wingspan, got basketball IQ, knows where to move his feet. Now, the leap he's going to take next year, now he's got Porzingis. Obviously, Porzingis, you'd assume he'll be injured for a bit. Tatum could average 32 next year, 32 and above, win the scoring champion, win MVP. That's how good he is. Probably in his prime now, but that prime's going to last such a long time. Probably a year or 2 left until he's in the top 5, or you have no choice but to take him out. Like, this is where it's so tough after this one. Tatum and these next 5 guys are just, they could be the best player in the league. That's their argument, but I'll have Tatum as 6. It's probably the lowest he'll be for a while. Now, in the top 5, my 5th player is Luka Doncic. Luka is just so talented. Had that insane stat line this season. Like, this guy literally probably had the best game of all time, 60, 20, and Bro, that's ridiculous. Like, that is ridiculous. Offensively wise, he's just so talented. Conditioning and defense is in the bin. He's called Luka Magic for a reason. 32, 8 and 8. You know, with looking trash on, you know, stamina drills. Hopefully, if Luka works, if he's working like properly on his conditioning this season, 35-point per game season, maybe a 35-point triple-double, wins MVP, carries out Mavericks with Kyrie to a high seed. He's my pick for MVP. Luka is just that good offensively wise. He's literally a magician. Not a lot of players like him. You know, Steph and Jokic, probably the guys that are on the same level. Could say Embiid as well. That is just my opinion right there. It is absolutely crazy how gifted this guy is at the ball. Been playing pro since young teenager, and that experience has just built up. The way he, you know, he's so, like, it's just pure skill. No athleticism. He has one-legged free jumpers and then just swishing. Not a lot of guys as talented as Luka Doncic. This is going to be controversial. This pick. You'll know after the pick after this one that there's some biasness, but number 4 is Steph Curry, arguably the best offensive weapon of all time. I feel like his prime, he's still in his prime. His conditioning, like his drills, like you see his drills, one of the best staminas in the whole game. This guy, best 3-point shooter ever. Spacing, the off-ball movement. His defense is there now. Leadership, obviously, you know, leadership, I say out of a grain of salt. There's obviously a lot of stuff that goes on in the Warriors, all the drama and that. So that is what it is. Had one of the best playoff runs last season, won his 4th ring, pretty much by himself. Obviously, that Warriors team was still very good defense-wise, coaching-wise, help-wise. 50-point Game 7, that was before Tatum did it against the Sixers. Steph Curry is literally just a magician. We'll never see a guy like Steph, which is weird. I don't have him like top 2, but, you know, this is my ranking. Like I said, this is my ranking. I don't know if I need to say much about Steph. We all know how good he is. It's literally just crazy he's still this good. He's got on more muscle. He's like, you could say this is the best version of Steph. Like, you could say he's at his best right now that he's ever been, which I would probably somewhat agree with. You're gonna have to change, you know, every year. Most like 3 years are different, but Steph is Steph. He's still in his prime. Undoubtedly one of the best players in the NBA. Just so gifted. Now, this is where the bias comes in. My number 3rd best player in the NBA is Joel Embiid. Whatever you say, okay, I get it. He does dip in the playoffs. That Game 7 was the most like, I wanted to rebuild. I was that pissed off at him and James Harden. Obviously now, like, you know, when you reflect back, won the scoring title 2 years in a row, MVP, could have had more MVPs, one of the most dominant players in the league, one of the best two-way players in the league. Probably Giannis is the best two-way player. Embiid's definitely up there. Along with KD, probably the best mid-range shooter in the whole league. One of the best posters. One of the best, like, the most underrated part of his game is defense. One of the best defenders in the league, especially on the Sixers. When he leaves the court, we're just so washed defensively. Such an elite player. His playmaker, when he has to be a playmaker, he will be a playmaker, which I like about. Obviously, the scoring is there. The shot blocking is there. Just in the playoffs, like, he has his moments. Like, I'm being biased here. You know, he has his, you know, high 30-point games, clutch games, but then, you know, there are the other situations where it's like, what, like no way this is the same player. It's really frustrating to watch. I'm a stick by his side at all times. Joel Embiid's my number 3rd best player. Yeah, okay, I thought I put up 4 there. And you know my number 2 and 1. Number 2, I've got Giannis. 1, I've got Jokic. Giannis, you know, people were turning on him after that Heat series, even though he got hurt. And that quote he said, which it is true. The quote he said, it's true, it's factual. I probably wouldn't have said it though, but, you know, it is what it is. He is who he is. Giannis, he had like a 30-20 game when they got eliminated. Such a dominant player. He is the most dominant player in the NBA. Like, Jokic is more skillfully dominant, if that makes sense. Giannis, literally a two-way machine. The athleticism, the speed, absolutely unreal. And then you've got Jokic, who is just a bigger version of Luka and better. Like, we saw like a triple-double for the playoffs. He was hitting some crazy shots where it's like, the shots he hits makes people give up. It's like, okay, like, we're playing against Jokic, we're done. That's literally how good he is. Deservedly 98 rated in 2K. I think defensively he can be quite underrated as well. obviously he does have his bad moments where like, Jesus Christ, Jokic, like his also cardio is bad as well. Obviously he makes up for it on the off. The cardio is not bad, defensively wise it is bad. But Jokic is just a pure offensive talent. The passes he makes, the space he creates himself, not even from like a track, is literally phenomenal. Arguably one of the best playoff runs of all time last season, and he is the #1 best player in the world. Now, people are going to disagree with me, and I don't care. Tell me what you think.